Well, hello, Kingsman. Welcome back. Hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe. Once again, sorry for the big delay well, my videos. Kind of a bit of a delay. There was a wedding, family wedding I was in. Took up most of the weekend. We are back. We are back with a 4v4 set in by Blanco. This one is the Battle of Wagram. Now, I do not think it's historical in the factions that we have here in the battlefield. As you see a 4v4. You have a Russian, Spanish, Swedish, and I believe HRE, or Austria, my apologies, Austria, going against 4 French armies. Of course, we do not see, you know, what the French armies are. But as you can see, we have the Spanish already setting up by this river. Actually having a probing light hussar unit kind of pushing back, maybe some okay, so we may have some French Egypt units here. Yeah, we definitely have French Egypt. They have sappers setting up some stakes. Looks like France is going to be sitting and being on the defensive here. Like I said, Spain taking the center. Russia is going to be taking this left side. They believe they have some Austrians and Russians. Yeah, they have some Austrian grenadiers mixed in with their Russian troops, and as well as some more Austrian line infantry. You can see already the French are pouring in some volleys. They have a 4-pounder here. So they are holding position. They have, as you can see, a large army setting up right here. So we have at least 2 French armies here. We have another one sneaking around the side, which is why Spain, I believe, has shifted over some of their light cav here. They do have some cuirassiers and heavy cav to protect that flank. Now the HRE are going to have a very crucial job here. They have a flank which they aren't necessarily pushing down. They could have pushed all the way from here. Wait, what happened? Hold on, guys. Bear with me. So you have some Spanish cav trying to get rid of these artillery pieces, and looks like they lost some lights, which they definitely want to get rid of the French artillery. The artillery is going to be a big problem for them. And let's see, let me take a peek here at the French army. We got Polish, so we have definitely a lot of Polish, some Imperial Guard as well for the French. Seeing a lot more light infantry possibly. Some Westphalians, looks like over here pushing up. We have some Italian Guard Grenadiers, as well as some just regular line infantry. Looks like they're going on the offensive here, interestingly enough, to up to this river. This may be, unless they have a lot more pushing up right here, this is going to be suicide, as there is a lot of artillery pushing up here. And now, as you can see, the rest of the French are revealing their location, the HRE. Oh, and there's America for France. America is pushing up as well, so the HRE are going to have someone to match the heavy mass here. It'd be interesting to see what America ends up bringing. But you can see already that the artillery is destroying the French. I mean, this is a really expensive unit of Italian Guard. They should not have been the front lines, and they should be focusing down these Grenadiers of Italy. France, Italy, of course. But France is advancing, going in with their most elites in the very beginning here. Russia has a very good position. They have artillery set up, as you can see. They honestly should be moving this 6-pounder maybe a little over to this brow of the hill, because they are not hitting. This Italian Guard did come back. Spain is not doing a whole lot. Sweden and the HRE are probably the ones who are going to have to advance here, or hold. In fact, as the Swedish should do. There's walls, there's a bunch of tree line, linking up with Spain and letting HRE hold the right flank. They have a lot of their hussars up in front, dragoons. Definitely, though, the fight is going to be first on this side, where France is now making a huge push here. This cavalry for Russia still holding their ground here, falling back a little. Look at this officer. Where is he? Where'd he go? There he is. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at that breastplate. Man, that's fancy. That's fancy work right there. France is pushing up with some dragoons. I don't think they have the answers as well, in some hussars. So, pushing up with line infantry as well. It's like, I bet you this is a Spain. This is probably a Spain. Seeing some of those units. They are advancing straight into the guns here. This is crazy. This is madness. Musketeers prepared to meet them. We got some reserves, the Grenadiers, in the back lines here. France is mad. Oh, we have a cav fight once more. I don't know why Spain keeps charging their cav in here. But France is a general movement here. This is concerning. Now, Spain is going to lose this. That's my prediction. They may, but they can accept to lose if they can hurt the French a ton. And I think that's what's actually looking like it may happen here. So much artillery is actually going to hurt. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Are they going to be able to fire before they break? Please tell me they can at least fire one volley and make it worth their while. Come on. Fire. They're going to lose. Oh, the guns are getting charged, so some dragoons are going in against the French, and Spain is charging in with some of their elite infantry here. So a lot of clashing along the border here as France is going to probably start shifting up. France needs more reserves in the center here. This is where the action is happening, guys. Look at this. We have some Chasseurs Cheval charging in against the Spanish line infantry. We have a general as well as some more cav pushing up. This was the artillery needs to get out of there. These sappers and cav can fight, possibly break some of the French, but I think Spain's gonna start breaking here. They do not do good in melee here, as France has yet to lose a unit. We do have some infantry engaging. Russia happen to reform. Over on this side, it looks like we have some cav clashing as, oh my gosh, look at this. I think the U.S. are going in the wrong direction.
Our men are running.
So the wrong direction. The HRE are over here, but they don't know that unless they scout. But now we have just a mass morale, or a mass just charge here. As more line infantry are pushing up here, Spain is in trouble here. They are reforming as they are getting pressured in the center. Now they are outshooting this front attack. We have some cav possibly had to get charged by some dragoons here. Of course, Russia was watching, send some Gassaris and artillery. They're going to break that cav easily here. But Spain is in trouble. As you can see, they're trying to use the cav to harass this left flank of France as they advance. And France is starting to break against some good volleys of Spain. But more cav, maybe some cuirassiers. Yes, some French cuirassiers pushing over here. We're having a lot of cav now pushing up as these dragoons of Spain and Sweden are running away from some camels of the Egypt, France.
Our men are running, sir.
Still not a lot happening here, guys. We're going to keep an eye on it. Just the cav kind of harassing the U.S. HRE are now going to be prepared to fight against the U.S. Also, Sweden's going to be fixing to take that right flank. We had a huge cav fight here with line infantry of Sweden as well. They're getting caught out in melee, probably not forming squares in time. Spain is still in melee here and actually seems to be getting hit pretty hard. Cav running amok through the center. This town is the gap in the lines. We do see some French infantry that has pushed up to take out that artillery, but that 6-pounder for Russia has gotten away. We have a huge cav fight possibly. No, Spain's just trying to staunch that big gash that's made by the French. France is pushing up. Russia now has one strong line. They don't have any reserves that I can see. They're being strung out along an entire long line. That is very bad for them. Now Spain is pushing over some of their hussars to take out this cuirassier unit. Maybe they can break them. As France is now being pushed back, finally pushed back. That cav fight, I think, is caused some hurt as the general for Sweden was broken. Over here, the HRE are fixing for a massive fight here. Look at all the USA that is pushing over here. HRE fixing to meet them with their masses of line infantry as well. Sweden gonna be fixing to take on, I think this is the Egypt. Yeah, this is the Egyptian French. Or no, this is, I think Egypt, France. A lot of cav on that side. The fight in this center is still raging as France seems to be making some great headway here. Russia actually looks like they may be in danger. They need to commit their cav possibly soon here if they want to actually make a dent. Oh, we have possibly some cavalry, some chasseurs cheval gonna charge in against the Austrian line infantry. There, you get shot. That's death by firing squad right there. Over on this side, we can see that we are going to have some line infantry, some grenadiers are charging a square. See, the one trick, guys, put your cap on the flank, on the square, as it's a lot easier. Now this cap should charge in, support this flank. More infantry needs to push in here, because this is going to be broken pretty fast here. Cuirassiers and dragoons charging some hussars. France playing great damage control on that flank, and they have pushed up. Spain has been separated from Russia. And the USA are finally, I think, going to be involved in this fight here
The men are fatigued,
with the
sir. Must rest a
HRE.
while.
Sweden looks like they're trying to push for the flank here as Spain is basically gone. It's Russia all by themselves, and Russia is winning the cav fight, charging it with their grenadiers to break the squares here, using their cav as well. As you can see, they broke the French cav, so they are going to be able to use those cuirassiers to great effect if they can get them to the right side, as Russia now is going to have to withdraw once more from this side. Their infantry is actually losing against squares, which is crazy. Oh gosh. Yeah, France broke them. That's crazy. So Russia is not doing too hot either. This may be, we'll have to see, I guess, how HRE does against the USA, who have some thick lines here. So they have their, these are militia, I know. But it's two monster factions versus each other, so we'll see how the HRE and the USA do. It's going to take them a while, probably. Both aren't the greatest in melee. USA looks like they have more troops, and there's still a French army and Swedish army that have not really engaged yet. The fighting has really been over here, where France is winning by quite a lot now, as they're getting surrounded. Oh, do we have cuirassiers? Oh, they can form square. This is death. Death. Unfortunately. But a glorious looking scene here. That's a better angle from up here. But now they're going to break, and it's going to be over, unfortunately. Don't separate your heavies from your army. That's exactly what happened, is a mess. We have, oh, HRE Cav in the back going for the USA General and artillery. Wow, HRE, or I keep calling, I apologize. I realized I said Austria in the beginning, and it is Austria. It's not HRE. It's not HRE, okay? Let me recant that right now. Not the HRE. Alright, I'm glad I was able to say that. Almost dreadful mistake here. So it looks like France, or not France, Austria is going for a back charge and a front charge, using cav to collapse the USA. Grenadiers as well as dragoons. The US may actually have a huge loss here. As you can see, they are mass routing here. Oh, that is vastly unfortunate. Sweden is going to be holding, fighting a retreating battle. They are actually pushing over to help out what's remaining of Spain, because Spain actually is still in this fight. Russia is basically gone, unfortunately. And as you can see, they're trying to get what's left of their army out of there. Spain has done well. Good job for them. They have held somehow, even though they lost the majority of their army. If the oh my gosh, I almost did it again. If the Austrians can break the USA in mass, which they are doing, it's becoming a mass rout, then they will have a pretty fresh army. And quite honestly, right now, things are looking beautiful for them. As you can see, the cab collapsing in on the back. Using their cab beautifully, I might add. The U.S. still has quite a lot, and they have another line here. I believe their general. The rest of the French, I think, did not like the artillery position that probably the Austrians and Swedish have. Let's see what's happened over here. So Spain is still trying to melee the French. Not the play I would advise as Spain. Try shooting them.
Our men are running.
Sweden is here to help save you. But your stats, unless you have a bunch of grenadiers, Spain is not really a good melee capable faction. And we have a French army that's pretty healthy still. Sadly. And they're going to advance, and I don't think Spain's going to hold against this many troops here. Dang, my computer just doesn't want to render everything. We have Cab going against Sweden, who can form square, but are they?
Our men are running, sir.
Probably multitasking here. The Austrians have definitely chopped up half of the U.S. army, and half the U.S. army is left, so this can still be a win for the coalition if they play their cards right. Sweden is doing a decent job here. They do have their artillery firing. Wow, look at that. That is so cool. But if you look to the left here, as you can see, oh, what? I hear more charging. It's just more line infantry, making sure the U.S. don't come back.
Our men are running, sir.
What a beautiful fight. Sweden is mincemeat now. Save your cuirassiers, please, Sweden. Save them. Russia is gone. Spain is basically gone. And France is going to roll over here. There's a couple Russian units left over here, but it's going to be pretty incredible if somehow the coalition can make this a win. We do have Cav charging down here. We have the heavies going smack dab. Oh no. Gotta watch out.
Our men are running, sir.
They're charging their heavies in by themselves. They're shaken and they are wavering. That's a waste of a really good unit you could save for late game. That's unfortunate. Over here, we do have Austria pushing up on the U.S. Austria looking very, very good still. And the U.S. not looking so hot, quite honestly. Their general has dismounted to not be such a target. Austria's doing well, but honestly, Sweden isn't. France is pushing up with quite a lot here. This is a lot. This is a lot here. And I'd be very concerned. I just wanted to get a cool shot. I didn't think it was that hard. Like, even look over here. You have just so many troops marching through France. You see France everywhere. Artillery going to be a huge role in this, though, I think, for Sweden. The only units that are kind of holding here is a couple Russian units and some Swedish units in the back lines, but for the most part, France seems to be very victoriously advancing here, and it's only been 20 minutes into this battle, and I think it's looking pretty good for the Imperials. Now, what a huge charge. The Chevaliers mass routing even more USA. USA just can't catch a break here. Austria is just doing such a beautiful job. Now, there is some French cav pushing over here. This is a missile cav unit. But they may try to run in and save the U.S. But the U.S. just... oh, wow. talk about a mass rout here. The U.S. are basically all but gone. So now we have Swedish cav pushing in on the flank. And the French are actually falling back. Oh, are we going to have dragoons taking out the artillery of France? Yes, we are. And there's nothing they can probably do. This is an expensive piece of artillery. That is just mincemeat now. The other artillery is going to run for the hills here. I don't think they're going to make it out of there in time. They're probably running to these stakes if they can, but Sweden is getting some revenge here. As France has to pull back because the USA is just gone. And we can say bye-bye artillery. Now France is going to advance with what's left of their army here because Spain definitely took out quite a lot of France. Oh, what? That Crossier unit came back. They should rest him. They should have him just sit still and rest him. So now, basically, it's 2v3. So there's the remainder of Sweden and most of Austria against 3 French armies, I do believe. The USA is gone.
The entire unit is dead, sir.
And France looks like they're actually just pushing for the flank here. This artillery may want to reposition themselves for this coming battle. They're going to need their artillery here. As Austria is going to start advancing, they're loading up their 5-pounders. Pushing up here, we do have some more of that dragoon unit. And Austria still has some of their dragoons as well. Oh, these guys are just going to slice and dice away more Americans. Farming a little. And France is pushing up on a couple of the Russians here. So Russia maybe can, they're exhausted. Their troops are tired and exhausted. I don't know what these guys are, but that thinks is France-Italy. They are going to be very, they're going to be using a lot of troops on a couple Russians. They need to consolidate here because the coalition is staying together.
The entire unit is dead, sir.
An enemy general has been killed. Oh, the U.S. general. Look at this slaughter. This is just a slaughter Austria has. Now you can see that Sweden is in danger here. They are moving that artillery back. France is eager probably to press that attack. The Polish line of infantry pushing up as well as those Voltigeurs. Make sure that artillery doesn't get shot. This is a very small defense versus quite a lot of France. They should keep falling back, but artillery needs to keep falling back as well. Austria needs to get over here and help their ally out before it's too late. Russia is basically all but gone. And they have one unit here. They have their guard here. They're exhausted, so hopefully they're going to rest up. Because as they're exhausted, they're not going to fire as well. So, you know, something for
this
food
building
for thought
has
here.
fallen to the enemy.
But it's looking pretty good for France right now. Austria has quite a lot of weight they're going to have to carry in this coming second fight, I guess. I mean, 24 minutes in, and, ooh, they did move the artillery back. Now, this may not be a very wise strategy. They don't have any cav to defend this. France has got to pressure with infantry or cav, and this artillery will go away. Also, it looks like they're embedding their infantry with artillery, which technically, that's actually frowned upon, if not a exploit of the game. You can't put Well, no, maybe you can put them in between guns. I think it's when you just stretch it along. I don't know. Someone in the comments who knows the rules can say better if this is okay to do or not. But either way, my opinion, this was not a wise place. Sweden should have kept moving their artillery back, because France is going in with the Polish on every front, actually. With the elites, this is the Imperial Guard here. They're charging in for that artillery piece. Sappers from Sweden gonna try to meet them here. Sweden not gonna do too hot, and this artillery is a little too close here. Can Sweden save it? No, they can't. Don't put your guns too close to the enemy. That's a lesson to be learned here. So Austria now, they are gonna have to form against the oncoming storm of French. Wow, look at that. Sweden is barely holding on here. As you can see, their flank getting turned rather rapidly. Artillery gone for them. There's some cav from Austria, though, pushing over to help support this side. But this is not looking good still. We have some Crossairs who did come back shaken and exhausted, so they're probably not going to be super effective here. Austria may have gotten caught out of place. Oh, their artillery is going to be in the front lines. That's the worst thing you can do. Oh, the guns were saved, though. Not for long. No, I'm just kidding. They probably aren't going to be. They probably won't even get another volley off. There's some Imperial Guard here. Or some Grenadiers. They're getting some shot. Wait, what?
Now they must pray.
No way. They killed a general. Wow, I don't know if they're even aiming for the gen, but they hit this unit and caused them to break. And now Austria, it looks like they are actually going to go in for this left flank, which means if France sees that, they need to swing in for the right flank here, while Austria is busy trying to deal with this side. Ooh, this front line, they need to ignore this, and they need to push the town. So France needs to push through this town and use this road to close in the gap very rapidly. That's the only way you're really gonna be able to win this fight, because the masses of Austria are stopping the masses of the French. Maybe this is France. I think it's actually France-Italy, my bad, not Egypt. It's France-Italy, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's a mixture of France-Italy and France-Egypt. But Austria is actually gonna be stuck in this fight for a little bit, which is why France should be moving, because both sides are gonna be shooting for quite some time, and France can start peeling the flank away, or the Swedish, who are unable to make an effective fight at this point in time. They don't have enough troops. He's resting up his Crossairs. They're very tired. There's some more Russians here trying to do what they can against the French. This battle is not over, and I like the coalition is not giving up. This defense is so weak. If only France knew that. If only they knew. And they would just roll this flank, but they seem hesitant to even advance. At the same time, Austria is holding beautifully. Now they are going to get pressure. France should start pushing down here. 5-pounder for Austria is going to be holding beautifully, trying to keep the French from being able to push, and you can see they are really focusing down that line. Oh, Austria is taking some losses here. More infantry. The reserves are being pushed in. I'm going to make a video soon here about how to have a line fight and what to have in the back, because you can't just have one strong line unless that's your last ditch effort. Obviously, you need to have reserves behind to be able to react exactly how Austria did. They had units right here. They shifted to the side because France was starting to push the flank, and they're now able to counterattack with that flank. See, they have even more reserves pushing up here, so have to have reserves. Even France has reserves in the back lines. You can see these units are going to be forming up, and there's some reserves back here. Now, if you can't have reserves, obviously Austria probably is running out of men to hold against so many French units here, regiments that are pushing up here. And Austria is running out of men, but they do have dragoons and chevaliers, very deadly cav in an Austrian faction here. Sweden still managing to hold this town with their cav, and oh, the cav can rest right here and charge if they try taking the house. Russia still's even in this fight with some of their grenadiers. They're exhausted going against the French, but I am very interested to see. Oh, the French are attacking on all sides. How can the coalition hold this? Like, how can they actually possibly hold this? There's no way. There's no way. I don't think they can. Unless they get some beautiful cav charges. The artillery is firing beautifully and breaking yet one more French at a time. Now, they need to watch out because they have one unit here, and that is it. Ah, they're going for the guns. Oh, they broke them. So Austria is falling back on this flank as they're getting pressured. At the same time, their cav is going in for a general. Dragoons of Sweden charging in for a gen. If they can break this general, they maybe can break the spirit of the French army. And France is starting to crumble, shockingly enough. In fact, they are charging this LOC. This is where these heavies...
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
What a crazy kill by Sweden. And they have cav trying to support this fight here, as France now has to divert more troops to reinforce the site because they are crumbling. This is crazy that Austria is holding, Sweden and Austria are holding this long. And Austria is barely hanging on here. They have some dragoons now going to reinforce the Austrian line as France is going in with the melee exactly as they should. Oh, France is getting chopped to pieces by... They're just getting shot. They're gonna break. Austria is winning this, guys. Austria is winning this. I think Austria can win this. I think the coalition can win. Look at this. There's a huge fight here in the center with infantry charging in, or cav charging in and breaking more of the French infantry. And France is actually starting to break. This lifeguard holding desperately in this town. My gosh, they are turning this around. Austria still has a majority of their army. They have their artillery and cav. Super important late game, chevaliers and dragoons. France is definitely still in this fight here, especially on this flank, but they have a huge... Austria has a huge flank they're pushing. USA actually is in this fight still, though they're getting a little wavering. This is a crazy comeback. What I would not expect. And guess who is back in the rear? Cuirassiers. Gonna go for the kill here. They are exhausted. But they are going for the artillery here, I suspect. Or infantry, who knows. Getting rid of that French gun. I think the coalition are gonna win. This is gonna be a coalition victory. Well played, especially. I would say the MVP... The real MVP was Austria in this fight. Everybody else did that. I think Spain took some heavy, gave and took heavy losses. Russia, I think, was able to hold long enough for Spain to not get rolled on that flank. But I think Austria made the real decisive MVP title here of carrying the shoulders, or being the shoulders and bearing the weight of this army here. So Sweden has secured this town. I think, I mean, there's 15 minutes remaining here. It's gonna start coming down to LOCs, I think. Start fast forwarding here. Yeah. France is running for the LOC in the back here, which at this point they've lost. I would stand and fight. When I know I've lost, I'll fight. I'll go out there. I won't hunker around an LOC to try winning. I'm not saying that people that do are wrong. They're just wrong. I'm just kidding. They just, it prolongs the battle, and I will give people the honor of defeating me in the field. I march out with my bayonets fixed, and I try to slay the enemy that way. And France may do that. They may just be repositioning for better formation size, but yeah, I think this battle is basically over. Like I said, 12 minutes now remaining. This Cav, I think he's going to try to keep them from going to this LOC, I assume. They should walk over here and keep these guys from hunkering in an LOC, which like the Spanish really fought hard for this town center.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
They fought so hard here for the town center. In France, like they are actually going to just hunker down here and wait. I'm assuming they're let their men rest and see artillery's probably just going to keep firing at them. And yeah, the remainder, nothing to see here. Just some Crossieres having a field day. Just slicing and dicing here. France is in this LLC. They're going to try to hunker down here, I think, and let Austria smack themselves against it. But honestly, with the morale of France probably in the tank, in the slammer after losing generals, they're just going to mass rout. They have units by... The units that are nearby, say for France, see these units are nearby, and units that are running away is actually going to affect your morale. So if you see enemy units routing and going into the army that's still very with it, like has a good morale, attack if you can, because the morale debuff of, like, say, this unit will debuff these units. It actually works, especially in mass. It can trigger more mass routes, if that makes sense. I'm not sure what France is doing here. I don't know if they're just trying to let the artillery kill them. Not sure. But they are standing here, so we may have to just fast forward to the end. Either that or they're just... What are they doing? Maybe they're letting Cav just come for them. I don't know. But the Cav, I think, is going to close in on them, and they're going to try to bravely hold. I think this LOC is... Wait, no, not this LOC. This one has France trying to hold on with what's left of their army. Do we have a Cav charge? Hold on. Good sport of France to just go out and fight. Like I said, it's obviously suicide, but, you know, they're not prolonging the inevitable, and the Cav closes from all sides. And with that, I think the battle is going to be over. I'm going to fast forward here. Well played. It seems like all sides are pretty respectful.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
So, yeah. I think the undoing was the USA got too close without Cav support. The US needed the French Cav support. I think they should have been in the center or been a reserve to push up with a French army. Not going on your own against someone like Austria, who has that Cav to seal your doom, because that's exactly what happened. The Austrian Cav, in conjunction with the Austrian infantry, clapped the U.S. lines and caused just mass routes from hitting the rear and the front with charges of Cav. I mean, I would love to see which units got the most kills for Austria, but I suspect their Cav got some pretty high losses here. And it looks like the French are still trying to fight for it, like still defending this LOC. There it is. It's not a draw. It's actually a win for the coalition here. But well played. What a comeback they had. Sadly, oh no, it wasn't. I have that's replaced by the USA player, and it was not them. It was by Jimter, España, playing as España. So well played. Let's see. Yeah, Spain didn't do as much decisive as they did holding the French. HRE, of course, got crazy amount of kills here. You can see 32-38. The rest of them actually got some decent kills in comparison. But yeah, that's about it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. More videos to come. And thank you all so much for your support. Almost to 1,000 subs. We're like 60 away. So I appreciate those of you who have subscribed, those of you who have commented and liked the videos, just interacting on the channel. I really really, really enjoy hearing from you guys. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in another video.